the muscle up. It's a cool exercise and it can lead to even cooler variations in the future, but for the longest time I could not do this thing ever. But now I can, so I want to show you how I built up the strength, as well as a few tips on your technique so you can start flying over that bar. And the muscle up can be broken up into 3 parts: the pull up, the transition, and a straight bar dip at the end. And in an ideal world, we'll pull past the transition into the dip. And if you can do 10 pull-ups, you can probably start doing muscle ups. And if you're not there yet, these exercises will help you get there, or just work on your pull-ups a little bit more with negative pull-ups, assisted pull-ups, or Australian pull-ups. Just easier variations until you've built up to the pull-ups, then do more pull-ups, and then you can move on to these exercises that I can show you and eventually learn the muscle up. So let's just talk about the exercises. And the first one's gonna be explosive pull-ups. The muscle up's an explosive exercise, so we have to just train towards explosiveness. And this is one of the best exercises to do that. And if you can just do like 5 pull-ups, you're able to do explosive pull-ups. It might just look like this, but the goal is just to move fast and explosively. It really just depends on where you're at. So if you can just pull to your chin, then explosively pull to your chin and try to get to your chest. And once you get to your chest, then you can try to pull for your waist. And you just want to try to get to that next level, and over time you're going to get more explosive and you're going to get higher and higher. You want to treat it a little bit differently than a pull-up as well. You don't want to just be going straight up and down. You want to treat it a little bit more like a row, and imagine you're pulling towards your waist. And the next exercise is weighted pull-ups, and if you've seen my channel, you've probably heard me mention it because it makes your back pop, gives you a Dorito aesthetic, makes you stronger at pulling, and makes you fly over that bar. And it's going to transfer to real life situations, like hypothetically if you locked your keys in your car and you had to break into your 2nd story apartment. That was actually like alarmingly easy to break into. I think I might get murdered in my sleep one day. And it's probably the best exercise for the muscle up, because if you can do a pull-up with way more than your body weight, once you actually use your body weight, you're gonna fly. And for this movement, you just wanna get heavier and heavier over time. And if you can only do like 8 pull-ups, that's enough to start adding weight. Even if it's like 5 pounds, just adding more resistance is gonna help you, which is why you need to start adding weight and slowly build up. When I first started, I would just put a dumbbell between my legs and slowly built up. And you'll get to a point where you're gonna wanna use a belt, because putting 70 pounds in between your legs is like a hamstring cramp waiting to happen. But until you get to that point, just find a way to add weight. It can be a backpack, it can be a dumbbell between the legs, or a weighted belt. There's a lot of ways to do it, just find a way to add resistance and you'll be set. And while you do this one, you don't want it to be like high reps or anything. You want it to be very intense and really focus on getting stronger by pushing to failure. A rule I like to implement is if I'm not going like this, then I have to do another rep. But once we take off the weight, we're gonna have a new control of our body weight and we're just gonna be able to fly over that bar. And the next one's the negative muscle up. And this one's pretty difficult and it'll definitely give you some blisters. When I first started doing these, I pretty much just dropped to the floor. But the more I practiced this one, the more I improved. And now it's a lot easier to control. And that's why negative muscle ups are so great, because it's gonna teach you the eccentric part of the motion, and eventually it's gonna give you the control you need to do the entire muscle up. And once you get that strength and control, it's gonna feel like you're levitating. So just try to build up that strength in the negative, and I guarantee you'll see an increase in your muscle ups. And we can mix this with jumping muscle ups, which is a good exercise to teach us the muscle up and will help us with that transition. And when I was building up my strength, I would mix these two. So I would do jumping muscle up into a negative, and then do a jumping muscle up into a negative, and do a couple sets of that. And after doing that for a while, I gained a newfound control of my muscle up. But those are the 4 main pulling exercises you're gonna wanna focus on if you wanna increase your muscle ups. We also need to add in some form of dips into our routine so we have the strength to finish out the movement. You can do regular dips or straight bar dips, either one works. We just need to develop the pushing strength to push ourselves up. But getting stronger at this one will help us with our chest, triceps. And having the strength to pop up can also lead to cooler variations, which is something I'm trying to work on right now. Core is actually surprisingly important in the muscle ups. So I just want to tell you the 3 core exercises that I started to really work on to get my muscle ups to the next level. And the first one's going to be L-sit holds, which honestly they're pretty painful, but they're super beneficial, which is why we need to work them. And this one can be built up too by doing knee raises, knee holds, leg raises, or just having one leg extended until you've built up the strength to hold your legs out. Another great one we can target is toes to bar, which is just lifting your toes to the bar. But some things to focus on is keeping our legs straight as much as we can, as well as controlling the down and trying our best not to use momentum. I also trained the hollow body hold. You just want to keep your core tight, focus on pushing your lower back into the floor, and keeping your shoulder blades and your legs off the ground. And these core exercises are really challenging. It's probably the thing I want to skip the most at the gym. But once you get more control of your core and you get a little bit stronger, these exercises get a lot easier. So if you're not able to do them right now, just do what you can. Use other core exercises to build up. And honestly, just try the exercise and fail at it until you can do it. So just keep doing it and you're gonna gain more control, get stronger, and eventually you'll be doing the exercise with control like it's nothing. And now that we have the strength, I just want to tell you about the technique, because there's a few things that you can do to make the muscle ups a lot easier. And they're actually not as hard as they look if you can just do the technique. So let's talk about the technique. First thing, we gotta grip the bar correctly. Don't hang from your fingers. You wanna have an over grip, having your palms rest at the top of the bar. And you wanna start developing calluses in the middle of your hand. Next up is a swing. Nothing too crazy, but you wanna have a small swing so you can go around the bar instead of just straight up and down. Doing the muscle up like it's a pull up is just gonna make it way harder. It's best to go around the bar so we can get our chest up and over the bar. So take a step back and start with a swing, moving your body about a foot past the bar, as well as poke your head out. And right when you feel your body starting to move back, that's when you explode and snap it. Bringing your head back, tucking your knees if you have to, and pulling up as fast as you can. You wanna think of it as like an explosive movement and just trying to bring your body up as quick as you can. And trying to pull towards your waist like it's a row. And once you're at chest height, you just wanna throw your chest over the bar to finish off the movement. But if you can't do that many muscle ups, you really wanna focus on this and just throw your chest over the bar, because once you can lay over it, you can finish out the movement. It's really just timing, and once I learned these little tips, I went from doing one muscle up to being able to do like 5 in a row. And once you can start doing kipping muscle ups, then you can start moving on to strict form muscle ups and slow muscle ups. It's just the sky's the limit for you. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.